So I've often mentioned how much I could talk about how much I hate ELA. So I decided to do that now while I'm on a walk with my dog. So, to start, where to start? I'll start with MLA format. MLA format is only ever used in some, I believe, like liberal art or whatever writings. Basically by no government, no journalist, no professional writer, author. I guess professional writer technically, but by no one who is actually trying to be efficient and look good. Because double spacing is weird, Times New Roman is restrictive, just the whole format of the everything is weird. So yeah, and it's stupid for many reasons. First off, just the dating is strange. Like I know it's somewhat standard, but writing for January 20 or instead of just January 5th, because it's got to be different. Putting your name and page number in the top right, and the spacing is just huge for God knows what reason. Double spacing alone is weird. And of course, the worst part of MLA format, which anyone who has written it will know, is the citations. God, they are horrific. And they provide, at my school, an MLA guide with examples, and I follow them as closely as possible and go to the official MLA website or whatever and look at how you do it, and I still get it wrong every single time. Parenthetical citations make no sense, and works cited page makes even less sense. It is extremely confusing and difficult to cite anything that is not just a book with one author and a short title and page numbers. Anything outside of that is really hard to cite. So I always fail on that. Also, they have contradicted themselves. They have said in academic language never to say me or I or anything, but in the example papers they say that. So, okay, that's good. Contradictions, love those. One time, this is, I suppose, both curriculum and teacher specific, my teacher has defended an objectively, factually incorrect statement from no standpoint, unless delusional, can be seen as correct. Here's the proposition which I have mentioned many times before. Feel free to answer this, pause, and think about it as long as you'd like. Is graffiti art or vandalism? Allow me to repeat and reword accurately. Is spray painting or putting any form of paint, I suppose, on a surface of any kind, whether public or private or not owned by anyone, is it art, which is subjective, or is it vandalism, which depends on specific guidelines to be defined as vandalism? It cannot be both, it cannot be neither, and it cannot be dependent on the situation. Which one is it? So I tried my best to BS things, saying, well, it's, you can't really define it as one or the other. It's a using BS language, as they like me to do. And my teacher defended it. She said, no, you must pick a side. So I outright defended my point. I am not going to do that. I'm not going to lie for a grade. I am not stupid. Recent thing I've had, because it just keeps getting worse each time, minimum word/paragraph/page requirements. They are objectively stupid. So, suppose I ask you, tell me about the history of the color orange. You research every single source and every video you can on it. You tell me that it used to be called red, yellow, or just red, and how the orange tree was tree was the fruit that produced, or tree would produce fruit of orange, the whole thing, whatever. Orange tree produced fruit of the orange tree, and then we got the color orange from orange tree fruits, which were now called oranges and all that stuff. So you do every single historical fact and etymological source and all of the verifiable things in 4 pages. They say minimum 5 pages. What are you missing? What would you like me to fill the extra page with? Tell me, I would love to ask. If I have provided every single information piece that you have asked me to provide to your thoroughly detailed desire, what am I missing? Because I'm clearly missing something, am I not? But no, you must fill in the page. You have not written enough. What have I not written? I've provided your information. It is detailed. It is clear. So that's just an objectively stupid concept. The assignments are both creatively limiting and confusing. Either give me set rules, do this, and I will do it. Or say, do whatever you want. But no, they mix it. They both give very nonsensical, abstractly worded assignments that I frequently do not understand, but also give strict guidelines so I cannot be creative and have any sense at all. And keep in mind, I'm a writer with 800,000 words in my various writings, from informational to emotional, poetry, essays, soliloquies, and so on. I am a writer. I love writing. And I hate ELA. Let's see, another thing about ELA. What would be another? Today was just weird because the past couple assignments have been about post-secondary, aka college and similar stuff, studies, which they're doing through ELA for some reason. Had 23 tabs open to research something that I'm not going to do. I'm going to do a trade school, so. And they also wanted me to provide my social security number, so I did my best to work around what I could without that, which was difficult. So yeah, that was just amazing. My teacher wants me to explain things as if I'm explaining to a 5-year-old. I literally have to state things that are already stated and elaborate on them. For instance, she said, in a thing about Helen Keller, how is the metaphor of being on a ship in a dark sea and fog related to her experiences? So first of all, anyone with a basic comprehension of blindness and deafness can understand that very, very, very obvious metaphor. In the fog, you can't see things, you're lost. That is so explicitly obvious, but I must explain it to show the comprehension I have is above the level of a 7-year-old, apparently. So I said, reluctantly, because I find it very difficult to write things that are stupid and useless and idiotic. Forcing me to write like a child it pains me, because I take pride in my work, and I'm being graded on it, so that's another thing I hate. You're telling me to write poorly, and then you're going to grade me on it. I hate that. So, I said all the stuff like, it relates to experiences as she feels lost in the world. Her lack of sight is similar to the fog in that she cannot see what is around her, so she feels, way, way too much information than you would ever need. And she asked me to elaborate further. Like, what? How? The word fog, typically defined as condensed water in the air, creating a haze that limits viewing distance, is similar to her blindness, which what do you want me to say? It's insanely stupid, and I think my teacher contributes. The course itself is terrible, but my teacher adds to it. And many assignments have just been generally stupid. Read a book, explain things that they explain themselves. It's like taking a paper someone writes on something, explaining something, and then asking you to explain it. Like, the whole thing about that was to explain. In fact, that's what they call it, informational text analysis, now that I think about it. So I have to analyze a text, and the entire purpose of the text being written was to explain something. Now they want me to explain what they meant by explaining it. What? I'm sorry, that's just, oh my god. So my teacher has defended an objectively incorrect statement that from only the standpoint of someone who is misinformed or psychotic would agree with. The course is contradictory, confusing, creatively limiting, and forces you to write terribly. Similar to Grammarly, just want to bring that up, side note. I like their ad saying, help you find your style when they're telling you how to write and giving you AI-generated text. That's the antithesis of finding your style. But anyways, so yes, my teacher is stupid. The course is contradictory and confusing and limiting and makes you write like an idiot. You have to elaborate things that have already been elaborated, like you're talking to what is that? I can't tell what I'm pointing because the screen is kind of dark, but that looks like something interesting. I couldn't tell what it was. But yes, contradictory, confusing, creatively limiting, makes you write stupid. Teacher is idiotic and defends something that is objectively wrong. So yeah, ELA is just this amazing course that, me, a writer, totally loves. My teacher is very intelligent, does not defend things that are wrong. The course provides all the information you need and lets you write creatively. Also, last year, every single assignment was still there, and the one they canceled was poetry. The one thing I was interested in, they canceled. So it's like, okay, well, that's just great. You don't like creativity, apparently. Although we did get it this year. It was a quick check, so you didn't have to write poetry or anything, sadly, but honestly, defining poetry is stupid. I get defining things can be useful, But why do I care that the poetic rhetoric stanza has 14.5 lines and 7 syllables? I don't like. Why do I care? And guess what? I don't. So yeah, that's just. There's that. And then my other courses, I kind of don't like any of my courses, but some are better than others. Let's see, currently history. I hate that because I'm really bad at doing and learning irrelevant, useless, inefficient things. So person in time from place did thing to person in time and place. I don't register that. I do not care if John Hammock the Paddock in 1734 of Great England declared war over the fifth New Great Deal policies on the Iron Lung Wall. I do not care. And that's why I struggle so much in it. And also, lately, it's just been too easy. And I struggle doing easy things. Most people would love to have easy assignments. I do not. An assignment literally today was like, identify 3 things in this picture. So, object recognition. And then it said to explain things like why poverty was bad. And I can't remember exactly what it was because it was so stupid, but they basically were doing kindergarten level comprehension skills, which was like, oh my god, I feel so stupid writing this. And then there's all the science courses. Right now it's environmental science, which is less of a science and more of the teacher saying, hey guys, humans suck, please don't pollute the world. It's like, true or false, human pollution contributes to the degradation of the world. Like, yeah, that's true, and that's fine, I actually learned some things from it, which I enjoy, actually learning useful things, and it's not difficult or anything, so it's nice. And one thing in science I hated was genetics. That was, if the substitute asymptote of the synergy of the X chromosome from John was transversely produced as a child and showed up as a dominant dorsal trait, if their next child 3 lines down, will he have I don't know. Dude, those things, genetics is so confusing, dude. I could not understand a single one of those charts ever. Also doing psychology, which is alright. I'm interested in that, but sadly it's a lot about people and theories that were wrong. So it's more of a history of psychology than a psychology thing. But I do learn some stuff, which is nice. Then there is math. Algebra was the worst. Algebra 1 is the most failed course in school, I believe it was. If not in math, I believe it was in school, though, in America. Because it is just, hey, new symbol, venticus. The venticus symbol, identified as a V with a cross through it, that is going to mean multiply the X factor by Y squared, because I don't know why not. Now do a lesson on it. They just give you abstract, useless concepts that I'm pretty sure not even civil engineers use in their math that are entirely useless. So I always struggled with those because they were just like, oh my god, it's useless. I don't get it. It's weird. It's stupid. Oh yeah. Right now it's just geometry, which is similar but not as stupid. It's still just like, why do I need to know this? It's kind of, the American school system is terrible. By the way, I do online school for those who aren't aware. Might be kind of clear if you have any sense of intuition. You can piece those things together. But yeah, it's still terrible. It's easier than real school and infinitesimally, but still stupid. Just horrendous. So yeah, that was about 10 minutes of talking about ELA and about 4 minutes of talking about other subjects. And that is why I despise ELA. It is something. God, it is something. And it is something that I wish it was not, because it is terrible. So yeah, whenever I say I could talk for 10 minutes about how much I hate ELA, that is what I mean. That was, that was me doing that, because ELA is a terrible course. A recap in case you missed it. A writer who writes an absolute ton in many different genres and styles hates this course that is contradictory, confusing, creatively limiting, made to elaborate like you're talking to a 5-year-old who doesn't understand the concept of words yet because they are illiterate, and has a teacher that defends objectively incorrect facts, like as objective as saying that is red or yellow. Literally that like not even kidding. That's how objectively incorrect it. And I'm not like rewording that. It outright verbatim said, is graffiti art or vandalism? Pick a side and state your arguments for it. Not even kidding. Like, that was last year. So 10th grade students here, providing curriculum to them to. Oh, actually, I kind of want to see I wish I could have seen the other students' essays and how they warped that. But yeah, forcing me to write redundantly is something I absolutely hate. I'm efficient. I'm insanely efficient. I cannot pull out BS. Most of the assignments I can do in 1/10 their requirements. I could do it in a better font, that being Verdana. The main benefit of Verdana is that the lowercase I is not similar, or uppercase I is not similar to the lowercase L, unlike an Arial, stupid Arial. Same with Tahoma, but Tahoma is really compact and looks kind of strange. So I would use it in Verdana, not to double space, because double space is useless and stupid. I would do no page format, because I'm not planning on printing it, and spaces are just entirely useless. Why would you need pages if it's just going to be a Google Docs? Then it should be no spaces. Because I've done this many times. I have like 40 documents I currently use, and many more have been scrapped. No, 50. Wait, hold on. One rough estimating, so there's like 25 in the scribes, and then about 20. Yeah, okay, it's about 40, 45 documents, with many more that I have gotten rid of. I know what I'm doing. So yeah, ELA sucks. That is the main point. ELA, not good. ELA, bad. Me no like ELA. Poo-poo ELA. History, okay. Stupid people, names, and places and times, I don't care. Science, depend. Sometime good, sometime bad. Math can be very dumb, otherwise it is just kind of hard. Environmental science teacher really does not like bad stuff human do. And we're just being brainwashed on how to not kill the environment, which is pretty good. Psychology's okay. A lot about history, but not that bad. Online school, very good, like 1,000 times more good than normal school. But you no have friends. No have friends bad. If you have friends, then go to online school, because then you have best of both world. But otherwise, very hard to socialize in online school. At least mine. So yeah, online school. I mean, American school system overall pretty bad. America pretty bad. Humans overall pretty bad, Human Earth not great. God redeem, come to Christ, follow his principles, all that stuff. People not great, Jesus great. That's why we go to him, because he no good. And people who do him truly do good and stuff, do it right, do be a good person, be good, please.